Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, let us discuss the procedure for slum test of concrete as per IS 1199 2018 Part 2. So this is the IS code. IS 1199 stands for Fresh Concrete Methods of Sampling, Testing and Analysis. So Part 2 is for determination of consistency of the fresh concrete. So for slum test, this is the referred IS code. As you can see here, the slum test it is cannot be used where the nominal maximum aggregate size exceeds 40 mm. So if the concrete contains coarse aggregate with size larger than 40 mm, the concrete shall be wet saved through 40 mm screen to exclude aggregate particles bigger than 40 mm. Samples for the slum test shall be obtained as per the IS 1199 Part 1. I will show you the sampling, how to record the sampling for slum test. This is the IS 1199 code Part 1 2018. So the sampling record for slum test should include the clear identification of the sample, that is sample number, the type of sample, whether it is composite or spot, date and time of sampling, type and grade of cement and admixtures, identification of the works which the sample represents, identification of the batch or truck mixer sampled, ambient temperature, temperature of the concrete sample, any deviations from the standard method of sampling, and a declaration by the person responsible for the sampling that the sample was obtained in accordance with this Indian standard, and name and signature of the person responsible for sampling. And this is the sampling record as per the IS 1199 Part 1. So when coming to the slum test, the method, so as the method starts with the principle of the slum test is the fresh concrete is compacted into the mold in the shape of a frustum of a cone. So when the cone is withdrawn upwards, the distance that the concrete has slumped provides a measure of the consistency of the concrete. And the main important thing is the slum test is applicable to a range of consistency of concrete that corresponds to slumps between 10 mm and 210 mm. So outside this range, other method of determination of consistency should be considered, which are described elsewhere in this standard. So the slump test is applicable only in the range of between 10 mm and 210 mm. As you can see here, this is the slump cone mold. So the top diameter will be 100 mm. So allowable tolerance is 100 plus or minus 2 mm, and the bottom diameter will be 200 mm. So that is plus or minus 2 mm is the tolerance, and the height of the slump cone mold is 300, and for this tolerance also plus or minus 2 mm. And this is 1.6 mm thick, and this is 0.2 mm thick, and these are the dimensions for the handle. This is the top view of the slump cone. And coming about the tamping rod, which is used for slump cone test, the tamping rod shall be made of steel having a circular cross section with a diameter of 16 mm diameter. So the tamping rod should be 16 mm. The tolerance is plus or minus 1 mm, and the tamping rod length should be 600 mm length. The tolerance is plus or minus 5 mm in length, and with round end edge. So in case a plastic conduit handle is provided of plastic conduit, that length should not exceed 1000 mm, that is 1 meter. Coming about the slump test procedure, so the purpose of this test is to check the workability or consistency. Clean slump cone and tamping rod and make them dry. Apply mild lubrication inside the slump cone, and we should place the slump cone on leveled non-porous surface. So we should pour the concrete in slump cone in 3 layers, and we need to tamp each layer with minimum 25 times. While tampering the second layer and the top layer, make sure that the strokes penetrate into the subsequent below layer. And we need to remove the excess concrete, level the surface, and pull the cone side up in 5 plus or minus 2 seconds without any shock. And the operation of filling the mold from filling to removal should be completed within 180 seconds, that is, allowed is only 3 minutes. So we should measure the concrete subsidence nearest to the 5 mm, and we should clean the slump cone and tamping rod immediately after rest. This is the figure showing the slump. As you can see, this is the slumped concrete sample, and how to measure the slump by putting the rule. So the difference between the inverted slump cone, this is the tamping rod. The difference between this bottom of the tamping rod to the top surface of the slumped concrete sample is called as the measured slump. And these are the three types of slump. This is true slump, and this is shear slump, and this is collapsible slump. So true slump is something where the workability of the concrete is in between the 50 to 75 mm. So shear slump means this is not a proper way of testing this concrete sample. We need to conduct the test again in case the shear slump is obtained. So in case of collapsible slump, if the workability of the concrete is high, so then we observe generally this is collapsible slump, where the slump value ranges from 150 to 200 mm, greater than 180 mm. The same thing is actually the test results. So as shown in the figure, so the test is valid only if it yields a true slump. This being a slump in which the concrete remains substantially intact and symmetrical. So if a specimen shears, as shown in the figure 3b, or collapses, take another sample and repeat the entire procedure as described above. And we should record the true slump to the nearest 5 mm. Thank you guys. Hope you liked this video. And please remember to like, share and subscribe, and I will post more videos.